In this short video, we'll demonstrate how you can extend an existing Appium remote WebDriver test to a user condition-based test by adding a persona, a real user, to the test code. We'll do this through Perfecto's wind tunnel capabilities. Testers can develop and define their own personas or simply leverage one of our predefined personas included with Perfecto's solution. A persona can be defined by its device, location, network conditions, running background applications, or changing device screen orientation. In this demo, we're going to extend a native Starbucks application, adding a real user condition test to an iPhone 6 by adding Georgia, one of our predefined personas, to the test code. Georgia represents a 47-year-old corporate road warrior from New York, with specific background applications running, for example, Marriott, American Airlines, and others. Her cellular network is 4G, LTE, in poor conditions. Let's see how we've implemented the test code in Java with Appium. Then, at the end of the test, we'll analyze the wind tunnel report. In the mobile remote test Java class, we'll add the persona name Georgia to the string persona name. Then we'll add the Starbucks test using this persona. In Java, this is the script name that we will add to the test script. And before going to the Starbucks test, let's set the cloud that we'll be testing this application in. Set that in My Environment settings. In the Environment capabilities, set your cloud credentials. Let's move to the Starbucks test and see what's been changed to make this a user-driven test. First, we initiate the application by getting to the home screen. Next, we're going to launch the app and we will start collecting the application vitals. The application vitals consist of memory, CPU, and other abilities. Now we'll add some points of interest. These are our validation points added to the test to ensure that the application is going to perform as expected in a specific user condition. Notice in the test that we refer to Georgia. We're going to launch the Starbucks application, navigate to the store's menu, find a store, and then click on Start to navigate to the selected store, which will be found in the New York area, which is where Georgia operates from. At the end of the script, we're going to collect all of the vitals, the timers, test report assets, and gather them into a wind tunnel rich media report, which can then be analyzed. Let's start the test execution by clicking on Start. As you can see on the right side in the Perfecto dashboard, the real iPhone 6 from the Perfecto cloud is being launched, and as soon as it's cleaned, it will open the Starbucks application. Again, this is an iPhone 6, which is configured to be located in New York, running iOS 8.3. Let's watch the test run. The application launches, where it will click and open the second menu, Stores. Where the Georgia persona is operating in New York, you can see that only New York locations have been found. Let's choose the first location, Park Row at Beekman Street. This is the nearest store. We click on the store to start the navigation to the Starbucks location. During this test, we're measuring timers through wind tunnel and vitals capabilities. How long does it take to operate the set of transactions we've selected based on Georgia's traits? When the test completes, we'll see how the report is being gathered and how the timers are being reflected. Keep in mind that we set a threshold of 3 seconds for the transaction to complete. We'll see if the test meets or exceeds the threshold we set. Now the test has been completed, and looking below in the console, we see the report being generated and all of the data is being collected. Copy the XML test report and open it in a browser. What you see now is the wind tunnel test report. Here's the test name, Starbucks Test, which completed with errors. So let's look at the report. The report consists of 3 main layers. At the top of this report, we see Georgia, our target persona. Here is her breakdown, including some of the applications running in the background on her device. What this means is that we actually tested the Starbucks application using Georgia as the target end user, your target customer. In the middle of the screen, we're seeing a set of points of interest, POIs. Some are marked with green, meaning that they passed. Some are marked with orange, indicating failures or thresholds that have been exceeded against the POIs that we set. Let's take a look at one of these. As you can see, in this report there are 2 issues. We'll look at the second one. What we see is that the timer actually exceeded the 3-second threshold which we set for the execution. When we click on the validation point or the point of interest, we see that instead of 3 seconds, the transaction, the navigation to the store, took more than 4 seconds to complete. On the right-hand side, we can see how it looked on the real device in a video completely synced to the report. So let's summarize what we've seen so far. We've seen how an Appium test code in Java was executed on a native application. We've seen how adding a real end-user persona, Georgia, in this example, can change the overall performance and functionality of this native application. And remember, this is how your customer, the real end user, will experience your application in real life. And finally, we've used a real network condition, real location, real device, running some real applications in parallel with the Starbucks application. If you would like to learn more about wind tunnel or user-driven testing, here are some options. Thank you for watching this video.